Hi there, I'm Julie Tam, managing broker of LYN Realty in Houston, and I thank you so much for joining me for my weekly Wednesday show, Smarter Real Estate. Okay, today you are really in for a treat because I'm going to take you across the country to Louisville, Kentucky, where my husband and I lived a number of years ago. In fact, back in 2008 to 2010, this was the first home that we bought together, and now we have sort of bittersweetly sold the house together. And so I want to show you the before and after, when we were living there. Then tenants rented it for the past 11 years. At that we've moved away back to Texas, our home state, and then the remodeling process to get it to the after photos that I'll show you that when the house was listed on the market. So just a little bit of background. Before I became a real estate agent and then broker now, I was a TV news anchor and reporter. So that took me to cities all across the country, reporting on local news and also national news. And one of those cities was Louisville. I have such fond memories of that city that people often call Louisville, but real Louisvillians, which I kind of became an honorary one, call it Louisville. And so I worked for the Fox TV station there, WDRB. Some claims to fame was I've been on a billboard in Louisville. I was named the hottest anchor by, it's so funny. It's been so long. I'm trying to even remember what magazine it was. Leo magazine, I think, was the one that gives out those awards for different various things like best dentist, best this, hottest that, whatever. And so, anyway, I had that happen with me. So when I first moved there, I was still single. My husband and I were dating at the time, and we had been friends since college, so we knew each other for a long time. I lived in apartments, and then he moved over, and when we got married, and we lived in an apartment together. But then we decided to buy our first house. So our realtor, who actually started out as our friend, and then became our realtor, and then remained our realtor and friend for all these years, the lovely Fei Fei Chow of Remax in Louisville. She helped us find this home to purchase. And it's in a beautiful golf community called Indian Springs in Northeast Louisville. And the good thing about the city is that it's not so sprawling like Houston. So your commute is not really long anywhere. But this one, my commute to work was just under 20 minutes. And then Sakib's was even shorter because his office was closer. So I first want to do a screen share and just bring up the photos of when we lived there. And as I look through these, oh my gosh, just so many fond memories come back. This is when it snowed. It snowed just a number of times every year. You can actually see the snow falling in this photo and just covering all the landscape and the roof and the house. And it was just so magical to look out the windows from inside the home and see this gorgeous white wintry scene. And it would snow from roughly like November, as early as November, all the way to like February. I don't remember if it would snow into March, if it was kind of, I think it did actually. Oh, you know what? I want to say that one year during the Kentucky Derby week, the festival and all that, which is like the last week of April, first week of May, it was freezing and snowing. So yes, you get a lot of snow. You can actually have snow over almost like about half a year, and it's on and off. The snow would stay, could potentially for a few days, then melt away. New snow could fall in the meantime, and so being kind of in between the Midwest and the Northeast, that area, we just really enjoyed that. And it was also so picturesque because we were surrounded by this golf course and a lot of tall, mature trees. You can see the trees bare here, but oh, you know what? One thing I forgot, I should have pulled up, but it's okay. You'll see in other photos just the majestic colors. I didn't. It just dawned on me that I should have brought up a color of or a photo of the fall colors in this home, because gosh, those trees, they just change into all different colors, and it is just, again, just such a colorful, beautiful place. And we spent a lot of times outdoors on our back deck, just eating and whatever. So yeah, really enjoyed these times. Lots of memories, friends and family visiting and people coming over and just having a really enjoyable time. Okay, so this is a photo of the master bath. So pretty basic, kind of the old school traditional oak cabinets. Countertops were cultured marble, your old school faucets. So the home was nice. We got in and repainted most of it, changed out the carpet upstairs. But other than that, we left things, intact. Um, and I'm embarrassed to say that back then, these bright, orange tone paint colors were in. We actually went to a paint store. They had a special event, so we consulted with a color consultant, someone who was an interior designer who actually matched colors to our, as you can see, our bedding, our bed set, and our furniture, and told us that these would be good colors. Right, today we would not do these bright crazy colors. We would just do lighter colors that also match just fine. It's not like you need to bring the orange more out of the bedding. You could do a very faint, gold or neutral. Anyway, so this is the master, which we call now primary suite, or the owner's suite. And another lovely salmon shade color in the laundry room. This set of washer and dryer traveled with me from Tyler, Texas, where I got my first full-time on-air reporting job for television, all the way to Louisville in a U-Haul truck, all the way down to Dallas, all the way to Houston in our current home. And then ultimately we ended up buying a new set after a few or several years, and transferring these to one of our rental properties in Houston. And so interestingly enough, this is the first home we've ever sold. We've only acquired properties. We bought, home to live in. We held on to this, rented it out. We've bought a number of other rental properties since then, have rented out, and we like to buy and hold because it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty lucrative to do that for an investment. Here is the powder room, the half bath downstairs. Again, just really basic, type of tile and other things. But I thought we had cute little decor back then. We were young. We were in our mid 20s to late 20s. This is the living room looking from upstairs over the loft, railing down there. So just, yeah, just real cute house. It's dated now when we look at it. But back then, this was really stylish. So I'll let you stare at this for a little bit while I continue the line of thought that I was on. Oh, and that, see above the fireplace mantle, I've got this framed picture, a painting of some ballerinas, and that's my thing. I danced at the Houston Ballet Academy for almost 10 years growing up, going through the entire pre-professional program and completing it. It did not go pro, but anyway, so I have a real fondness for ballet and anything that's like classical music, that sort of thing. So this was represented in our home. Anyway, and my husband, of course, was represented in different ways. He plays a saxophone and things like that. He's interested in films, and we had some of that decor going on as well. Anyway, so yes, the reason we decided to sell now was because our tenants had just moved out. The last tenants we had, we had a few tenants over the years. We were pretty lucky with most of our tenants being quite good. We had one bad apple at the beginning that we had to evict, who stopped paying rent, even though was very well qualified. But then we had a really long-term tenant, which was like our favorite tenant. And then we had two additional subsequent tenants after that, who took really quite good care of the home. So we're very appreciative of that. But anyway, because they had moved out, here's the guest bedroom upstairs. And our realtor property manager is looking to retire, a few to several years from now, and thought the market right now is just really good. During the pandemic, real estate was really hot, just all over the country and in most places, including Louisville. So we thought, well, it seems like it makes sense. It would be a good time to sell. And right now we're also about to build our own custom home, our new home for ourselves in Houston. So, it'd be nice to have a little extra cash to not, be as tight, right? So this turned out to be a great decision. This is a view from kind of the front entryway looking upstairs. There's a game room right at the top where that ceiling fan is. Our study, what we use as our study, is that closed door straight ahead. And then on the left is the guest bedroom and bath, or what could be secondary bedroom and bath for people who have other family members who might be staying there. So if you look down kind of this view on the right with the living room, you've got the bar, the breakfast bar there with the bar stools. Entering the kitchen, the breakfast is beyond, and then the sliding glass doors out to the backyard. over behind the stairs, there's a little hall to the left that leads you to, on the right, the powder bath and then the master suite. And then on the left, down another hall to the laundry and the coat closet, and then the door to the garage. So I want to show you some before pictures. This is after the tenants moved out, and Fei took pictures showing the siding starting to peel up, which we had to repair. And this is the slate flooring that was in the hallway, that we had to put down because we had an underground plumbing leak, which kind of comes with the territory of older homes. This home is not old. It was built in about 1994, 95, but still, after 25 years, or actually at this time, it was about 20 years, stuff can start to happen underground with whether it be tree roots or just the pipes, getting old and failing. So because we didn't have enough of the Brazilian cherry wood floor that was there, we had to do a slate floor just for this, the hallway part to, and it made it look, pretty decent. Like we kind of turned it into like an entry from the back door or the garage door type of deal. But that's what that was. And then here you can see a wide shot of the kitchen. The appliances, are somewhat dated. And then at a distance there, which I'll zoom in, get a close up shot, that is where another plumbing leak happened more recently, another underground deal. And so we ended up replacing plumbing from the house all the way out to the street, to the main line. And so, of course, broke up this wood floor. Ultimately decided, what, let's just replace the whole floor because there's a number of scratches and just wear and tear over the years. And, we were just going to do a complete remodel and just freshen it up. Okay, here's a sink. And this is pretty common with cultured marble sinks. You see this kind of cracking happen over time. And so you can either resurface the sink or replace the sink. And then here you can see just from settling of the home, this is not indicative of foundation problems. Foundation problems, typically you see a jaggedy diagonal line, but this is just typical settling that's happening where the tape is, where you have seams, natural, edges in your house. So that needs to be repaired and painted over. We needed to remove a basketball court that a previous tenant had installed. We gave them permission to. It was a popular, and a good bonus for thing for, people who wanted to be able to play basketball, but, to sell, it's like, well, let's go ahead and neutralize the home and get rid of that because it's not that good looking. Deck stain faded over time. And this is where the yard was dug up. So we had to plant new sod for the grass or new seed. And then also redo some of the flower bed where the flowers had died. We had fabulous flowers. I forgot to include a picture of that. These flowers that were planted by the previous owner when they sold it to us, they would just bloom. They were perennials. They would bloom every year. And we just were so happy to see them whenever they would show up, and all these different flowers and different colors, just throughout the flower beds in the front and along the side of the house and also at the back. But tenants don't take care of them as well. And maybe over time, they also start to die off. And so that's what happens. Okay, and this final picture shows, this is a backsplash. I need to take a sip of water that one of our previous tenants had installed. They just wanted to add it, did it at their own cost, because again, a cosmetic improvement is not something the landlord's required to do. They also installed those brushed nickel cabinet pulls. And so, yeah, so we had that, but unfortunately with the new color scheme we went for in the remodel, we couldn't keep those that backsplash, that nice tile mosaic backsplash. Okay. All right. So let's skip over here to show you some in progress remodeling photos. So we remodeled from afar. You can see here it's already such a transformation of the kitchen. The cabinets pulled out, they were stained, or painted, I should say. And so they had to remove all the cabinet doors in order to do it. You see an undermounted sink and granite countertops, a new backsplash with these white subway tiles, and there a new coat of paint in progress on the walls. And here are it is another angle, another view of the kitchen, and those cabinet doors that were pulled off to be painted. Here you can see the sheetrock removed. They were doing some repairs and reinstallation there. And the flooring just all ripped up. The contractors were in there working. So we basically had Fei go around and make selections for us of narrowing down, like, okay, here are a few granite countertops in the color scheme that we wanted. We said we wanted to kind of do like light neutral gray white tones. That's popular right now. And so she would find a few slabs of granite countertops that went along with that. And then we already knew what color paint we wanted. So we told her that, and we knew that these, would all coordinate, pretty nicely. This is the inside of the shower, the master shower that we ripped out and installed new tile. And you can see that, hardy backer board. I don't know if they call that in Louisville. We call that, in Houston, but anyway. And here is the master bedroom and the new flooring they were laying down. Yeah, and there's a sliding glass door that leads out to the backyard and continuation of the deck. Okay, so yeah, she would also take pictures of a bunch of different lighting, and we would pick. And so everything was done by photos. And we have enough experience with remodeling because I've coordinated, I don't even remember how many remodels of rental properties for other landlords and for ourselves in Houston, that we can pretty much remodel anything from anywhere. And so, but she was a real help with the pictures and giving us advice, because sometimes pictures you can't really see things as clearly. And also the colors don't necessarily come through as true to what the real colors are. And even when you're in a room, depending on the lighting that day and, what kind of light temperature you have in there, if it's a fluorescent light versus a warm yellow light, things can appear differently as well. Okay, so these are the after photos. This is the professionally shot. These are the professionally shot photos for the listing. And so you can see some new mulch and flowers, just real new because they're really tiny. So you can see the bigger bushes that are in existence, but the new ones that were planted. And yeah, so this is our former home. You can see just those stately tall trees there in the back. I mean, it was just such a lovely time to be sitting back there outside. Okay, you can see this kind of more gray tone flooring. Now we did elect to not literally remodel every single thing in the house. We spent tens of thousands of dollars already, and it was worth it because we got a high sales price and recouped that and more. But if it was like, man, we got to rip out the stairs now and redo like those steps and restain the banister to match and all that, it was starting to get a bit much. And we just thought, you know what? I think the fact that most of it's already, remodeled, and with the advice from our realtor, that we felt like this was already a significant change and very good. This is Agreeable Gray by Sherwin-Williams on the walls, but at quarter formula. So it's a quarter of the strength of Agreeable Gray, which I like more because it actually makes it more white, but with just a hint of gray instead of being very clearly gray. And that's a little bit harder to match with things. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say overwhelming, but it's just, but more overwhelming than, the quarter strength. So anyway, that's what we went with. And then of course, just the white trim. And then you can see the modern light fixtures, these nice square light fixtures. We actually have a light fixture like this in a condo that we own. This is the dining area. And then the kitchen, you can see the blue wrap still on, the brand new range, stainless steel appliances, side by side, nice refrigerator with ice maker and microwave and dishwasher, just all changed out, like a completely new kitchen. Okay. The other thing we didn't change about this kitchen was the tile flooring. The tile flooring is a little bit of a warm tone, but because we didn't go with super cool, like Agreeable Gray isn't a cool gray. It's a little bit of a warmer gray. So what they call greige, a combo of gray meets beige. And so it still worked. You can see it. The tile floors don't look terrible. That would have been another several $1,000s of cost to bust all that out and just change it all up. So we were like, yeah, let's let's not go there. Undermounted sinks, new faucets. You can see the granite countertops. Again, we didn't go with a high-end granite. This is a little bit lower level. Those are the double doors to the pantry and a little butler's serving counter there next to it. This is actually a new sliding glass door that was installed after we moved out. So it looks different than the previous pictures. Our powder room, okay, we did get the tile changed in here because remember those little white square tiles were a bit more dated. Matching in the primary suite there of the floors, same floors. Here's the owner's bath. Look at that shower, new glass door, totally new tile, surrounding it, the nice rectangular tile that's trendy with the mosaic floor, really beautiful, and the granite countertops, new faucet, new poles, cabinets painted, all of that, and then the tile flooring as well. So it really came together nicely. And again, this isn't a super high-end remodel. It's not a low-end remodel. It's somewhere in between, but it's right for the price of the home and for the level of home that we were selling. Linen closet in the bathroom, and this is the primary closet, and this is that wood floor leading to the back there, and then we had the that little area just inside that back door to the garage. I shouldn't say back door, but door to the garage, tiled, so it could continue into the laundry. Okay, and then just heading upstairs to the game room, we got this new light gray carpet. Pardon me having to look up off camera because I'm looking at the photos as I'm scrolling through on a second computer monitor that I have. That's a little door to the attic. So I was walking at it, very convenient for storage, and it's painted gray. This was actually before the remodel. So a previous tenant somehow that ended up getting painted gray. I don't even remember if it was by our property manager's contractor or by the tenant. But anyway, it looks cute. This is the upstairs, a secondary full bath. So just the same kind of scheme. Now the granite countertops, I had picked different ones for different bathrooms and kitchens. Like the one that I thought looked nicer, I wanted to put in the kitchen because that's a more prominent, important room in the house. And then, the master bath, and then the secondary baths, were not as important. This is that study room that I was talking about that we use as a study, just a big bedroom. Really large bedroom with closets there, and you can see the vaulted ceiling and a restained back deck. And you can see this, just those majestic trees. This is a picture taken in late spring, early summer. So the colors are not there like the fall colors that we would normally see. You can just imagine. One thing I really love about this neighborhood and a trend in Louisville that we don't see in Houston is the lack of fences between you and neighbors, especially here where you get a nice golf course view. We were on hole number 3, I think it was. It's amazing how much you forget over time, but that's what I think we were on one of the earlier holes in the 18 hole golf course. But anyway, so you can see still some of those little beautiful purple flowers left over from our days there. But yeah, so you don't want to obstruct the view of the golf course by having these fences in between each home. And so we didn't have any fences. So you could see us and the neighbor, there was no division, and we didn't have any back fence, blocking our view of the beautiful golf course. Why would you want that? Not even an iron fence, where it would partially block the view. You can see there is a house there where there is a fence next to them. But yeah, just so many houses just didn't have fences. And actually, in a good way, you can kind of watch out for your neighbors a little bit more. If somebody's like trying to burglarize your home and coming through the backyard, if you've got a fence, well, nobody can see it. But this way, the neighbors, if they happen to be outside in their backyard, you look down the fairway and it's just like, you can see all these houses in the backside. So this is our 2-car garage, and you can see the contractors having staged their items there. This was not used in the listing because obviously this is ugly, but the professional photographer shot this anyway, just for informational purposes, I think. And there you have it. So our Louisville home, I'm going to stop the screen share. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments or feedback or suggestions for a future show, please don't hesitate to let me know. You can comment or message me, and I hope you will click that like button and subscribe so you don't miss an episode of Smarter Real Estate, where I take you on some of my real estate adventures and also arm you with practical strategies from my personal experience to be a smarter buyer, seller, tenant, or landlord. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week.